It's a pleasure to be with you today, and thank you very much, Prabdeep, for that kind introduction. I'm going to try and cover a few things, as Prabdeep mentioned, about why reform is the right choice, why I joined reform, why I left Labour. Today I'm a new face to reform, but I'm not new in politics. I've been in politics for the last 10 years. I joined Labour Party many years ago, and the reason I joined Labour Party because I thought Labour is home for the working class people. Labour is home for hope, and over the years that hope crumbled and Labour drifted to a different direction. I couldn't be a part of it. So I'm going to tell you my whole story, how I took this journey from being a Labour councillor, a Labour leader, and today standing amongst you as a reform activist, starting and joining a new movement to take our country back. So my journey starts from 2016. I joined Labour because I cared about struggling people who were struggling to get by. I saw a system that I thought was unfair for working class people. So naturally I started with Labour because that was one of the options at that time which I chose. I started as an activist, knocking on doors, delivering leaflets, speaking to people every day to convince them why Labour is the right choice, why we need change, why we need a different policy in the country. I became a councillor in 2018. And when I became a councillor, I saw the Labour group, Sandwell Labour group I joined. There were 70 out of 70 Labour councillors, 100% majority in a council like that. And they were working very hard. Day and night, they were using all their resources, working so hard, but not for the people of Sandwell. They were working hard to bring each other down. They were working hard and using every resource they could find to damage each other. They were fighting amongst themselves with no focus about the people of Sandwell, with no intention to change the lives of the people of Sandwell. And I said to myself, what have I got into? But I strongly believe that you can't fix anything by standing outside. You have to be a part of the system if you want to fix the system. If you want to change anything, you have to be inside. So I said to myself, I'm going to stay here and fight. And for the next 2 years, I fought for unity within the group. It was very hard. Councillors were being suspended every week, every month because they belonged to a different faction. People were rewarded for any information against the fellow councillors. It was a bad state. And when you look at the council was full of scandal, corruption at a big scale. I thought I got to do something, but I was on my own. There was an establishment, 2 strong factions. I stood against them. I said to myself, either I will leave politics or I will fight the establishment. And I chose the latter. I stood against the establishment. I didn't have a big group of councillors to back me up for the leadership, but I decided to have a go. I did have was conviction, clarity of my vision, and my focus to the people of Sandwell. I became a leader, but that's when the reality hit me. That's when I saw the real face of Labour Party. It wasn't just the factions at the lower level. The party was divided throughout, up until the top. There was issues with corruption within the council. I tried to create some transparency. In my first cabinet mandate, I'll give you an example so that you know what was the scale. So in my first cabinet meeting, there was a contract allocated to a former employee of the council, disgraced employee of the council. Firms linked with that person, they were awarded 4 contracts worth £20 million. So in my first cabinet meeting, I rejected that. And that sent shock waves. There were many people within the group who wanted to put it on the carpet. But I wouldn't do that. That's not my style of politics. My life was made difficult. Unions were unleashed. I had to resign in 6 months. Not because I've given up, but because I couldn't fix a system which don't want to fix itself. What could I have done on my own? I had young family, businesses, but then leaving politics was not easy. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Then came the option of reform. And why I joined reform? Because reform is just not another party. It's a movement. I've got 3 main reasons why I decided to join reform after leaving Labour. Firstly, for me, it's accountability. I think it's very important for politicians to have accountability, the right accountability, and they need to remember that. Now, reform's leadership is not accountable to some elite club in Westminster. It's accountable to us, the common people. And I've always believed the policy should be derived from the people. It should not be imposed to the people. Secondly, I think most of you will agree on this. We all care about our economy. And our economy is in such a bad shape at the moment. Even at the local level, I'll give you an example from Birmingham. You may have seen in news, that's where I come from. Do you know how much was the council tax rise last year? 10%. On top of that, do you know how much was the council tax rise this year? 7%. 7.5 actually. So in 2 years, 17.5% council tax rise. And what are they getting in return? What are they getting? When they step out of the door, piles of rubbish, piles of black bags. One of my friend was showing me earlier, Liam Neeson, he's shooting for a movie, taken the bins out. So Birmingham is a joke. It's a worldwide joke now. They have mismanaged the economy. They awarded a contract to an IT company for £100 million last year. And they had to re-award the same contract to the same company again for about the same amount. They're paying one company twice for mismanaging their IT services. Do you know the Birmingham councillors are highest paid councillors in the country? Highest paid councillor. Almost double the wages they get, the basic rate they get as compared to the neighbouring boroughs. And what are they delivering? What are the people getting out of it? Who's suffering?
Everyone.
Us. They are making money. They're not even full-time councillors. So we want an economy that works for common people. We don't want an economy which lives with fantasies of our politicians. We want an economy which works for common people, and reform has got a robust plan and policy to deliver that. And that is my second reason why I decided reform is my only option. But I've got one more. Reform is the only party who talks honestly about taking control of our country back. To secure and promote, it's never too late. We have to start at some point, because not starting is too late.
Yeah.
But we started. We're on the journey already. We need to promote our values. We need to be proud to be British. We need to control our borders, not out of fear, but out of fairness. We want a country where our kids don't just survive, they thrive. And reform's the only option we got at the moment, and that's why I joined Reform, and that's one of all three reasons I've given you why I'm standing here. What can we do? What is the role we can play? Well, we can do a lot. We have huge power when the revolution is run by the people. That's when it's stronger. And this is the state we are in. As you said, it's never late. We are on the right track. We can play a huge role by talking to someone, by convincing someone to join this movement. We're getting bigger. We are a lot stronger party than we were a year ago. So what you can do is speak to your neighbor. Speak to somebody who's frustrated, who's sitting on the fence, who wants change. Tell them your story. Tell them why you joined Reform, why you left Labour, somebody like I tell my story. You need to give them reasons. We don't win people by slogans. We win them by trust. And trust is what's really in your heart. And here, you got an amazing team. You're very lucky, much luckier than we are in Birmingham, because we are still setting up. You're way ahead of where we are. You got a fantastic team led by amazing chairman. Rajbir has been an inspiration for me to join Reform. I came here to campaign for Labour in the general election, and I came across against Rajbir. I came to campaign for SEMA, and I came across this leaflet. It was to the point. And even being an opposition, it convinced me that this young guy is trying to do something good, something better for the community. So I really want to thank Rajbir for inspiring me to join Reform. I feel like I'm at home in Reform, and I want to thank the whole team for being so organized and so effective in your digital presence as well. Your videos are very inspirational. I bet you have seen Rajbir's video. He's also known as a video guru in the political arena. I heard few people calling him that. But yeah, so I mean, this is what I wanted to share. This is what I thought I need to talk about. But there's a lot more that we can learn from each other. Thank you very much for having me tonight. I am proud to be a part of this movement. And from Labour councillor, leader to a Reform activist, I've turned a full circle. But I've turned a full circle not to abandon my roots, but to reclaim them. So let's take this fight to the streets, to the ballot box, to the future. And together, we'll take our country one vote, one voice at a time. Thank you.